Hello and welcome our viewers into a new episode of your show around Kuwait, where every episode we shed the light in the most recent events and focusing on more in the trending occasions. Of course, I'm your host Abdulatif Lanizi, and today I'm joined with my co-host and colleague Sarah. So good evening and welcome, Sarah.
Good evening, Abdulatif, and good evening, dear viewers. And we're really happy to have a new episode in the Around of Kuwait where we'll be sharing about different inspiring topics, talking more about things about Kuwait. What is our first headline for today, Abdulatif?
Exactly. So for every episode we have different headlines and different topics, and for today we have three. As usual, we have three almost. So for the first topic for today, we have the Kuwait first Japanese speaking competition that's going to be held or been held here in Kuwait. We are really excited about this topic because it's really important since the Japanese culture have been really hitting here in our culture. A lot of people trying to delve into this culture, knowing more about the language, so we're all excited about it.
Yes, true. And our second headline will be journeying through the golden age of Islam at the Arabic Islamic Science Museum at Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, as you know.
As it is a topic that we're going to delve even more talking about it, let's say our heritage, our culture, how is it started, our accomplishments for the golden Islamic age. And for the topic we have our colleague Abdulaziz Derwish enlightening Asma bint Abi Bakr School in Traditional and New Media. So talking all about media here through this media platform. And of course we're going to delve into the first topic, but for you, the viewers, we have this report, so stay tuned.
Hello everyone tuning in, my name is Nasser Borshed and today we have a new event. Today I'm at the 16th Japanese Speech Competition. We're going to see live performances and also attend the competition and learn a little bit more about the Japanese culture. So come along with me.
The grand halls of the National Library filled with excitement as it played host to the first ever Japanese public speaking competition, a collaboration between the National Council for Culture, Arts and Literature at the Embassy of Japan. The event aimed to celebrate the beauty of Japanese language and foster cultural exchange. The esteemed judges, comprised of language experts and cultural ambassadors, took their seats as the event commenced. The library, adorned with cherry blossom decorations and hints of Japanese aesthetics, provided the perfect backdrop for this celebration of language and expression. The Japanese ambassador to the country, Morino Yasunari, expressed his gratitude for the warm reception and the enthusiasm shown by the participants. He highlighted the importance of such events in strengthening the cultural ties between the two nations.
It was my great pleasure to participate, to attend this great event of Japanese speech contest. This time it was 16th speech contest, so I'm very much admire and congratulate the Kuwait University on the having this speech contest for such a long time, and I'd like to express my sincere appreciation to the Kuwait University for their support for Japanese language training, education for Kuwait people or non-Kuwaiti living in Kuwait.
As the competition unfolded, the stage came alive with a symphony of eloquent voices, each participant weaving a tapestry of words that reflected their admiration for the Japanese language. Topics ranged from personal experiences with the language to reflections on the shared values between Kuwait and Japan.
I started learning Japanese in 2015. I take Japanese as a hobby. Each time I get the chance to learn or join a course in Japanese, actually I do it. I spent 4 months in Japan learning Japanese. This is my whole experience in Japan since 2015 till this day.
The Japanese public speaking competition not only celebrated linguistic diversity, but also sowed the seeds of understanding and friendship between the two nations, fostering a deeper connection through the art of public speaking.
All right, everyone tuning in, we've reached to the end of today's report. I've met a lot of interesting people today. Today was the 16th installment of the Japanese speech competition. I really have fun, and congratulations to the first place, second and third place winners. So back to you guys at the studio.
And we're back, dear viewers. We'd like to have big thanks to Nasser Borshed, our reporter, talking more about our first topic, where we'll start our show talking more about the National Library hosted the Kuwait's first Japanese public speaking competition. I think, Abdul Latif, nowadays, especially when we're talking about speaking different languages, I think it's been a trend, and especially when we're talking about the Japanese language, I think everyone is interested in learning, especially when we have this kind of collaboration between the embassy of Japan here in Kuwait.
Yes, the collaboration was specifically between the Japanese embassy and also the National Council for Art, Culture and Literature. So having this collaborative initiative between them and Kuwait National Library, also with them towards this remarkable event, I think it's got to be really wonderful and amazing. And talking more also about the trends, where a lot of people been, I don't know what happened here, I don't know what's going on, but everyone I know here in Kuwait traveled to Japan during the last year. I don't know why. I don't know how is that even possible to all of them. It's becoming even more trendy because it is a really remarkable country. So to having this great trends, because it's been known to learn more about more languages, it will actually enhance your brilliance and to be even more smarter, because it is connected to that, and it is really important to have this types of diverse, to let's say include some cultures here, to let's say enrich our information. It's got to be really amazing, where the participants to learn even more about the traditional Japanese speaking, also the public speaking. It's a competition. It's got to be amazing. So I'm really excited even to delve even more on this topic.
And don't forget, Abdul Latif, I think it's really interesting, and at the same time, on the other half, it's really a hard language to learn. I would be interested and really happy to learn this kind of language, but I think it's kind of hard because it's totally different than what we have been learning throughout, let's say, school or university and so on. And I'm sure back then in the school or university, you have learned different languages. One of the languages that I think other than English would be, let's say, French.
Yes.
It would be a little bit much easier, but this is really interesting.
French is easier or more difficult, do you
I think it would be much easier because I don't know, maybe I learned it while I was at a young age.
Yeah, maybe.
Japanese culture, language, they have like different kind of what we have been
exactly
learning throughout the school. I think French would be a little bit similar. I'm not sure. Because
we are actually even more connected to the European culture.
Yes.
I think that's why, because a lot of people that we know from Europe coming here, and we exactly going to Europe way more than the people that we know that go to, let's say, the Far East from Asia. So having that, it's actually bringing some diversity, something actually really beautiful, adding to the recipe of cultures that we have here. I mean, it's good that we are holding on in our culture, but it's even better to see and to, let's say, knowing about even more cultures, because we already have the experience with the French, let's say, language, since we have it here in our educational system from high school. 3 years. I know it's not totally enough, but knowing the basics, let's say, it's got to be really remarkable. And after that, if you find yourself in it, you can continue studying it and you can be a French teacher.
Especially, don't forget, while you're learning any kind of language, you have to keep on speaking and learning this language. If, like, for example, any kind of language you have learned, you have to keep on going depending on where you're committing with people, so you don't forget the language. So you need to keep on talking this language more often. So that's why I think it will be more harder.
Because the most important thing in regard of the language, either it's going to be Japanese or any other language, is, as you mentioned, practicing. Try to keep talking. One of the reasons that I kept having the good accent, the American accent, is actually because when I was younger, I used to talk with my friends during the video games, and that's one of the reasons that I kept having this language. It wasn't because I went to America. It's actually way different reason. So even that, having the presence on the event itself, the collaborative initiative, the remarkable one, to see the Japanese ambassador there, and to see and to have the judges, the experts from the language to witness this remarkable competition. It's got to be as amazing as
Yeah.
it is. And having the Japanese ambassador Morino Yasunori expressed the gratitude and the warm reception and emphasized on the event's significance and strengthening the cultural ties between Kuwait and Japan, because it is increasing the connection. It is, because even for those who doesn't know anything about the Japanese language, after seeing initiative, after seeing, okay, there is a competition, there is initiative, and in the heart, I wanted to learn a Japanese language.
Yeah.
Okay, I keep saying that to myself, Sarah, but after, it's not going to be like the much of motivational.
Yeah.
But when you see such an event, and you say, okay, I gotta go.
Yeah, true.
Okay, I gotta learn, because there's
Yeah.
competitions, there's motivational initiative. It's going to help.
Yes.
So it's got to be a reason. Like, even if we have like the same, let's say, initiatives for any other languages, it's got to be really amazing.
Yeah, and especially when we're talking about a different kind of language that's really rare for people to learn and to be educated. You're learning different culture and different language, and I think I'm sure one of us one day have learned, let's say this kind of person have learned 6 or 7 languages and so on. I'll be like,
Yeah.
wow, how have you learned that kind of different languages at the same time and fluently speaking that kind of language? I think you would educate yourself much more by learning language as well as learning the culture itself. And it's really nice to have it here in Kuwait as this kind of relationship and friendship between
Yeah.
Kuwait and Japan. That's really interesting because they're totally different two cultures.
But of course, it's actually increasing the connection, having better ties with the two countries, Japan and Kuwait, and then even though to actually, let's say, bringing the relationship between the two countries in more friendly way, I think it's going to get them actually really closer to have such initiatives from the Embassy of Japan and the Kuwait entities who are actually behind this remarkable initiative, which is the Kuwait Library and the National Council for Culture, Art and Literature. To have these initiatives, it's got to be really amazing. And for me, I think that they choose the right time for the right initiatives, but what's more specific, in the exact right space and place,
Yeah.
I mean, which is the Kuwait National Library. It's been known as it is the heart and the spot of information, of knowledge, of getting either any types of information, book, digitalized information.
Yes.
So having this initiative on the heart of knowledge to get and to, let's say, and initiate such a remarkable event on that place where you can not only take knowledge, but yet you can give it back and get rewarded after it.
Yeah.
So it's got to be even more amazing
Yes.
because the place is actually really great. So a
True,
lot of
and-
people have been advised to go there to the Kuwait National Library, where you can get all of the information that you want.
True, and the more we're learning these kind of linguistic and languages as well, we're adding more, let's say, tourism in the country itself. People would like to know more other than the language and culture, would like to visit this kind of country. They would like to know more about the country, whether historical and so on. And I think it's really interesting having this kind, again, of friendship and relationship. That's really amazing.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. And even here in Kuwait, having this remarkable touristic places added to them to Kuwait National Library. A lot of people say, okay, it's the library. No, it's not a library. It's a place where you can have some fun if you
Yeah.
are into books. And a lot of people are into books, and these people are becoming the more knowledgeable, becoming more into the information. So it's got to be really amazing. So there is a couple information that also a lot of people need to know, and I didn't know it for long ago.
Yeah.
In Japan, they don't speak English. They only speak Japanese. Not a lot of
Yeah.
people speak English. And even if they speak English, like only the basics, like how to order food, how to help someone, that's it. If you want to communicate with other person, like me and Sarah, like me and you, trying to communicate, we actually cannot do that in Japan.
You can see them anywhere, like when
Yeah.
you travel around, especially the Japanese people and so on. They would maybe use their phones translating.
Yeah,
what
they're
they
having a
want.
hard time with
They're
it.
really stuck to their culture and their language.
It is actually a good thing to be really held on your language, but yet, I'm not speaking my mother language,
Yeah.
neither you.
Yes.
But yet, it's actually got to be really amazing to have this diversity of language it's been stored on your mind so you can use it whenever you want. I mean, it's a good thing to be held on it, but yet I think it's really necessary to know how to speak other people in case if they didn't know any Japanese.
Yeah.
But yet also a lot of people are enthusiasts about the Japanese culture, language. A lot of people that we know, I gotta say it, here in Kuwait, 60 to 70% of our young and even my generation watch a lot of, let's say, anime and cartoons, or more specific animes. So it's got to be one of the reasons that we know the basics. I'm not gonna lie, I know the basics about Japanese language, okay? And it's got to be really, really remarkable and really wonderful to have such an initiative here, and it is really great.
Yeah, especially when we're talking back then about this event, which it highlighted the growing interest between the Japanese culture and the language within the local community, contributing the connection through the art of public speaking. Again, I think while we're having these kind of events and growth, people would be more joining these kind of speaking events to learn more, especially about whether it was a language or a culture itself, I guess.
And it's in elaborating on what you mentioned, Sarah, it's going to be some unforgettable moment to both, to the attendees and to the participants to this competition. Because having an experience, you don't have to be like a participant or a judge or let's say a member of the embassy, no. Or let's say a member of the entities who actually collaborated with this event. No, actually just to attend, just to be motivated to such a remarkable event, it's got to be really amazing to attend, to see, because here you're also having some memorable moments.
Yeah.
Because you always will remember that in that day exactly, during the competition, I got motivated, and after that my journey had been changed. I wanted to learn even more about the language. My dream is to travel to Japan. A lot of people have this dream. I have this dream, but yet we didn't go to, because sometimes you get intimidated by what you're going to face during your experience there.
Yeah.
And I got the information that they don't speak English, so my language will not be working.
True.
My mother language and even my second language, the English. So I got to learn. And before you go there, either you have your translator phone and you got to make sure that you have Wi-Fi connected to it.
Yeah.
Otherwise you're gonna be lost, my friend.
Of course,
I mean, you gotta learn how to order food or anything.
Yeah, and as have you mentioned, Abdulatif, don't forget that whoever wants to learn any kind of language and have this kind of interest, because you want to learn about this language no matter what it was, I think it's really interesting, because you're educating yourself before learning the language, the culture itself as well. And with that, dear viewers, that was our first topic for today. We're going to have a break to know more about the other topics.
The Arabic Islamic Science Museum unfolds the vibrant history of the Golden Age of Islam, showcasing the impactful contributions of Muslims and Arabs in science, culture, and art. It's a journey back to an era of groundbreaking achievements, fostering a proud reconnection with Islam's inspirational message. The museum celebrates the scientific pioneers of the time, recognizing their invaluable work in fields like exploration, medicine, astronomy, and engineering. Visitors gain insights into the remarkable contributions that laid the foundations of modern science. Architectural marvels shaped by scientific discoveries take center stage, highlighting the intricate connection between knowledge and artistic expression. An entertaining exhibition lets visitors virtually converse with ancient polymaths, Al-Khwarizmi and Al-Biruni, bridging the gap between past and present. Interactive exploration is encouraged, allowing patrons to delve into the scientific principles that defined the Golden Age. Medicine's advancements, celestial discoveries in astronomy, and ingenious engineering feats are showcased, emphasizing the period's pioneering spirit. The museum seamlessly integrates scientific knowledge with architectural practices, showcasing how it influenced harmonious landscapes across the Islamic world. The overarching narrative underscores Islam's inspirational message, actively encouraging scientific discovery and fostering curiosity and innovation. Cultural and artistic contributions are highlighted alongside science, illustrating the holistic approach to knowledge that defined the Golden Age. The museum invites visitors on a captivating journey through time, portraying a nuanced and comprehensive view of Islam's enduring legacy in scientific inquiry and cultural richness.
Welcome back, our viewers, as we're delving even more into the second topic for today. So after the first topic, it was a little bit traditional and culture, but all another culture. But this time, we're actually even more connected to our heritage, to our Islamic Golden Age, where we have the Arabic Islamic Science Museum serves a captivating portal to the Golden Age of Islam, where the scientific culture and artistic contributions of Muslims and Arabs come to life as we are bringing it even more to our memories. It transports visitors to an unmarked era, a groundbreaking information and achievements, and the encouragement because that we have the reconnection with more about the message of Islam. So having this topic, it's got to be really amazing because not a lot of people knows what Islam has contributed to the world, because they think it's only about religion. Well, yet that's correct, and that's actually one of the most important thing on earth. But no, not only that, this is not the most important thing. Yes, but we actually served the world, served culture with many scientists that until this moment, using your phone, you would see the changes with your phone actually that impact had been held from years ago. So having our culture, having our heritage, we actually contributed way more than any other culture, and people need to know that. So having this event, the Islamic Museum in Abdullah Salim Cultural Center, it's got to be really amazing.
Yeah, and especially here we're talking more about history, let's say, Abdul Latif. The museum recognized the invaluable work of the Arab and Islamic scholars across the fields of including exploration and medicine and astronomy and engineering. Visitors would visit this kind of museum. I think most of us have visited the museum to see these kind of, let's talk more about history.
Yeah, but unfortunately I didn't go there. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Usually
I did, but I didn't go exactly to the museum. I had been to the place itself, but I didn't visit. Maybe next time.
Of course. So having this topic, it's going to be a rich information for both of us. For me personally, I have a background about the contributions, about the information that we had back in the day for our heritage and culture, for the Islamic in the Golden Age. But for a lot of people, they don't know that there is even an Islamic museum that will give you everything that you need to know in regards of this culture. So we have the Abdullah Salim Cultural Center. There is many types of museums in there. I didn't go there to it. Unfortunately, I've been really stuck up to work and personal life responsibilities. But of course, having that said, I gotta go there. I got to enrich myself with more information.
Yeah.
But as you mentioned, elaborating in what you mentioned is in the fields that we actually connect to it, math, statistics, astronomy, geology, medicine, all of it. I mean, talking about Khwarizmi, logarithm.
Yes.
Who is Khwarizmi? What is logarithm? When you go to social media, you open one of the social media platforms, you see some of the videos that goes up to your mind, that goes up to what you love and what you like and what you witness always.
Yeah.
This is actually the basics of it, the heart of it is from the Islamic Golden Age. This is a rich information. This is the most important information, because a lot of people say how the other civilization or how the other countries from the Western world comes up with this great mind of knowing what I like and what I dislike to give me some of the videos that I like. Well, it's not from them. It's actually from the logarithms. Logarithms are from the Khwarizmi. So a lot of people needs to know that, and that's only from one part to one spot from the whole sea that we have. It's actually one drop to a whole sea of contributions to the world. I mean, actually, we brought not only peace, we brought civilization, we brought culture
Yes.
to the whole world.
And especially when we're talking about these kind of museums, Abdulatif, I think if most of the people, whether it was kids or elder people, they don't know that have that much information and knowledge about that, it would be a really nice idea to visit these kind of museums to educate and to know more and to learn. And it's never too late, whether you were a young age or older. Sometimes I don't have that much of information to know about such a things, whether we're talking about science or history and so on.
Yes,
Yeah.
you're actually definitely right. But there is talking more about the cool thing, elaborating what you mentioned, and even elaborating even more at the cool things that you can actually witness on this museum is you have a hologram that can talk, speak to you, and change the formation so it can give you the information that you want. I mean, it's not screens, it's not signs. That's tell you, okay, at this way you will find some museum parts, some antiques. Okay, this antique from this person or this collaborator or this have been initiated. No, you actually not find that only. You will actually find a hologram that speaks to you,
Yeah.
that speaks to the audience and tell them everything they need to know and change. The hologram shapes start changing within the story itself
Yeah.
to give you, let's say, not only something pleasant in your ears, but something to pleasant your eyes.
Yeah, visually, yes.
And
True.
ending with that, you will have something pleasant in your mind
Yeah.
with rich information. Because I gotta say this, a lot of people say, it's something happened. How is it gonna help us on the future? Well, did logarithm end it? Logarithm did happen. Khawarizmi died
Yeah.
hundreds of years ago. But has his contribution ended? You gotta know. You gotta know, because you will see with this contributions, with these achievements, you will actually find out that if you accomplish something, people will ever remember it. So this is a lesson from the history, and we always learn from the history, knowing the future.
Yeah.
This got to be really enriched with information. So for all of the visitors, everyone who is here in Kuwait, and I know that a lot of people who are watching us here are either tourists or people who doesn't speak Arabic. You gotta go to this museum. You gotta go to the Islamic Museum. Watch the Golden Age. Learn even more about our culture. It's got to be a really fascinating something and fascinating journey for them and even for their kids.
Yeah, especially when we're talking about this, Abdul Latif, as you have mentioned, I think the image itself, you're learning, educating yourself, and as well you're entertaining the visitors themselves to
watching a
learn.
movie.
Yes, exactly. That kind of education would be much easier to learn and be interested in, especially because when we're talking about history, I think not a lot of us would love to know and learn more about history because
In
not
the boring
everyone-
way, let's
Yes,
say.
yeah.
Like, I gotta tell you something hundreds of years ago. Okay, no. I gotta see something cool, something new. Remember when we were at school?
Yeah.
The most fun part is actually when our teachers brought up their projectors
Yes.
and start watching us or giving us turn off the lights. Okay, who's closer to turn off the lights? Turn off the lights
Yeah.
and watch the projectors. Watch, like, let's say a movie. It was for me and even for my for my colleagues and also the students to witness that. It's actually got to be really different, and a lot of people would actually have a better, let's say, observing for the
Yeah.
information. Well, that's 90%. I know 10% sleeps after for the projects after they turn off the light.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna speak about them. I mean, come on, wake up, kids. So,
Yeah.
for that, having the hologram, it's actually the same thing. We usually go to museums, we watch antiques, we watch something, and we get some information at the old way. But having that with the hologram, it's got to be really fascinating experience because
Yeah.
you gotta see it while it's talking. You gotta also see it, change the shapes with the history,
Yeah.
with the information. Because with that, if you didn't remember the words, you will remember the visualized information.
And especially Abdul Latif, when we're talking about these kind of things, whether we're talking about the Arabic, Islamic, and so on, when we're talking about history, I think we need to have these kind of museums more often for us to learn and to remember and to educate the others, because sometimes we might forget that one day we have kind of a big history,
Yeah, and
long
some people
history.
even don't know it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people actually don't know about the Islamic history, and they think that it's going to be a little bit difficult for them to even learn.
Or we would
talk
say
more
that
about it.
that is ages ago. خلاص, it's gone.
Yeah,
it's
it's
dead.
gone.
Yeah.
Like, okay, how is that gonna help me? So having this museum with the new display and with the new visualized information, it's got to be really amazing, encouraging a lot of people to go there, because let's be honest. A lot of people won't go there until they see other people posting it on social media.
Yes.
Okay, look out this new cool way to visualize the information, the hologram. A lot of people will be motivated after that. So this is actually one of the reasons that the Abdullah Salam Cultural Center got to be really, really unique, really different than any other museums in the region. I'm not gonna lie, even in the region, because it's got to be on a unique way to give you the information that you want and need. So after that, they focused on the Islamic age, enriching the information, having and holding into our rich culture, because we heard about the Japanese culture.
Yes.
After that, they don't speak unless any other language but their home language.
Yeah.
And why is that? Because they're held to their heritage,
Yes.
and we are doing that.
True.
All of the thanks to Abdullah Salam Cultural Center,
Yeah.
to this remarkable facility, and focusing on this initiatives. Yeah.
And don't forget that visitors are guided through the groundbreaking. As you go there, you would find the visitors there. They would have this kind of education, learning more about different things, whether it was medical or astronomy and so on. And as we have mentioned, also engineering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not only about the things that I mentioned. I mean, I don't know about all of our countries and our heritage informations and contributions exactly, but if you go there, you will know everything about the Islamic scholars on the field of medicine, on the field of astronomy, on the field of, let's say, math, because years and hundreds of years ago, people from other civilizations used to come to our golden age, to our golden at the time we were actually conquering the world itself. So more than half of the world. So they would actually be coming to us to know and to learn even more about their heritage, to get even more studying, to learn about either medicine or the fields that we just mentioned, because we were actually above the whole world. I'm talking about culturally, I'm talking about civilizations, and inshallah at one point we will be even better than the whole world in regards of scientific researchers, astronomy. One more time, inshallah we will be part of it, but in a good way, inshallah.
Yeah, of course. Again, we would encourage everyone to know more about the history and visit the museum to know more about our Arabic Islamic history and culture, and not forget, and let's say go to the western part. Let's know more about the Arabic part and not forget our history, of course.
Of course, it's got to be really amazing. So with that, our second topic for today has ended. We have yet the third topic, so for you, our viewers, stay tuned after this report and we'll be right back continuing the third topic.
Hello everybody and welcome to your show Around Kuwait. This is your reporter Abdulaziz Darwish. Today in this report we're going to showcase with you about the lecture was about broadcasting and how to be a perfect reporter. And I will be privileged to be the instructor of this lecture, and the presence for the excellency, the representatives from the Ministry of Education and even our students. Stay tuned.
The vibrant halls of Esma bint Abi Bakr School for Girls, an air of excitement filled the atmosphere as students and teachers alike gathered for a special seminar. The presenter Abdulaziz Darwish, a renowned expert in media, stood before an eager audience, ready to open the doors into the intriguing world of media. The seminar, titled "The Difference Between Traditional and New Media," promised to unravel the complexities of communication in the modern age. Abdulaziz, with his charismatic presence, began by highlighting the significance of both traditional and new media in shaping our understanding of the world.
I'm Shahad Al Arbid from Asma bint Abi Bakr School, and today I'm going to be talking about performance. In order to perform, you must have the right confidence, and you must pick the topic that everyone has a full coverage of, and you can convey a message through the performance. And speaking of performance, there is many performances such as musical, historical, and scientific. And to convey your message, an artist can convey his message. An artist or a musician can convey his performance, his message through a performance that he wrote and worked hard on, like a song or a music play. And an actor can convey his message also through actors. He can write a play that he can see his message through the actors acting on the stage. And last but not least, I would like to say thank you very much for your listening.
As he spoke, the students' eyes widened with curiosity. Abdulaziz seamlessly navigated through the evolution of media, emphasizing the unique roles that newspapers, television, and social media platforms played in disseminating information. The girls were captivated by the transformative power of media and the opportunities it presented. Not only were the students amazed, but the teachers too found themselves fascinated in Abdulaziz's insightful presentation. The seminar became a shared space of learning, where generations connected over the importance of media literacy in the 21st century.
Hello, my name is Fatma. I'm from Masroof School. I'm coming here to Asma bint Abi Bakr to perform on this day. And I'm here to thank you for being here and taking time out of your day to come here. And secondly, I want to thank Kuwait TV Channel 2 for supporting Asma bint Abi Bakr and helping the school on this special day. And thank you for listening to me. I hope you have a great time.
By the end of the seminar, a sense of enlightenment enveloped the room. The students left with a newfound appreciation for the diverse facets of media, armed with the knowledge to navigate through both traditional and new channels. Abdulaziz Darwish had not only presented a seminar, but had ignited a spark of curiosity and understanding that would continue to flourish within the walls of Asma bint Abi Bakr School.
Welcome back, dear viewers. Special thanks to our colleague Abdulaziz Darwish for this amazing report in the vibrant of halls of Asma bint Abi Bakr School for the Girls. Excitement filled with air, talking more about media by the expert, our colleague Abdulaziz Darwish. What do you think, Abdulatif?
It's got to be really amazing to have this types of initiative where we can teach the next generation about what they want and the difference between the traditional and the new media, because it's got to be there is actually a huge difference. Not a lot of people know about that. They think it's only the platforms that have been changed, but even the ways of media, it's actually being changed. So having this seminar on Asma bint Abi Bakr School, on this remarkable school, to give and to enrich the information for the young students about what they need to know, because it's really important, and it's going to motivate a lot of young from these young girls to, let's say, motivate them to be more into the major of media while they go to college, because it's got to be really amazing. I mean, we are a part of this field. We are part of this social media and the new and the traditional media, the whole media thing, because we are on TV. We are giving the information for a lot of people who need to know about it. So we have, and we can mention that it's got to be really amazing with the great way of having a message to send it to the other people. It's because media, it's got to be something really important. It's either a weapon that you can, let's say, use it to harm other people, or it's got to be a bless that can, let's say, spread the blessings by giving information, really important information for a lot of people who needs to know about it, either social media or TV, the traditional or the new media.
And especially, Abdulatif, when we're talking about media, I think the media field is really big and huge. When we're talking about media, we're talking about newspaper, and TV and social media and so on. And I think a lot of people don't have this kind of education knowing what is exactly media. Nowadays, when we're talking about media, people would think if you're
Social
talking
media.
about media, it's just social media. Back then, when I have actually studied in the university, when I have studied mass communication and media, I have studied the media itself, whether we're talking about TV and advertisement and PR and so on. And back then, newspaper and TV itself and any other platform, social media wasn't there. So media was totally different. Learning about media is a different concept than knowing media nowadays itself.
It's got to be fascinating. So all of the thanks to Abdulaziz Darwish to have this remarkable initiative. He's our colleague, and he's always leading with this remarkable events, hosting it to give, let's say, enriching information, not only to be a host, but actually to be someone who actually giving a captivating story, as if the students, I mean, you can see through the report that their eyes will get really widened because of the enriched information, because he took them from A, or let's say to Z, about the information about the evolution for the media. How is it started? How is it ended? Before it started, like with the TV, even before the TV, when it was only newspaper. And then until this moment, we see some newspapers. Some of the companies are closed. We still have the magazines, and it's still one of the most, let's say, getting profit organization, the international, the really globally wide magazines. Not a lot of people still using social media. There are people still using the more traditional way because it's got to be really unique. So when we mention the transformation from the social media, we need to learn our younger generation about that. We need to send the message because they need to know that there is ways to adapt on these platforms. There is way, how is it started, and it's going to help you. How is it going to help you? Because even like a couple of months ago, we actually had one of our guests, and he's actually at the weathercast, giving us the weather since almost 30 to 40 years here at KTV, Kuwait TV. So he given us how they before used to give the weathercast to the audience, or let's say to the viewers, about before it was just chalk and using the old ways, and right now there is a visualized, there's now they're using the hologram. It's got to be really amazing. How is it started?
Changing.
It's really wonderful.
And especially back then they used to say in the media we won't have any more newspapers, or who would read any kind of newspaper. I think by even if we have it nowadays electronic, it's different when you hold the newspaper, the paper itself, and reading it. And especially when we're talking about elder ages, I think newspaper would never die, whether it was electronic or by papers. And plus, we need to add, especially at this seminar, letting the kids or this generation learning more about, especially when one day they would graduate and go to, let's say, university, and then would educate and would learn or would work and so on. People would think if you're working in media, it means equals to money. Or if you're working in media, this is really easy. You're just sitting behind, let's say on TV, behind the camera. You're just like talking, doing nothing. They think it's much easier to have. It's not. Even if you're working in a newspaper, it's even harder to write or to post
keep
something.
up with the news. It's got to be,
Exactly. So what they're learning nowadays is they're learning what they're seeing throughout the social media, which is we're all seeing more often, which is much easier. And never take this kind of concept. If you want to learn something,
you can correct it maybe in the future, Sarah. You can correct this concept, because a lot of people thinking that social media or media, it's all about, let's say, the money. It's an easy, let's say, easy profit. Well, it's not. And for me personally, one last thing to mention before we end the episode and we go to a conclusion is, I wish that newspaper never ending, because we're having fun with.
They would never end.
Because it's a platform on your hand to know everything that you want to know. Let's say from every types of news, either sports, general, entertainment, political. If you want, there is a crosswords games. There is some, let's say, lots of things that you have on the newspaper. So it's got to be really amazing. So please, let's try to have it, held on it. So in conclusion, let's take back what we had for today. For the first, it was, let's say, more traditional, cultural.
Yeah.
connected to other country, the Japanese public speaking competition in Kuwait Library, collaborative between National Council for Culture, Art and Literature
Yeah.
with the Japanese Embassy.
True.
Having the Japanese ambassador with this initiative, it's got to be really amazing. Emphasizing on this initiative, it's really remarkable, and we're honored to have it here in Kuwait.
Yes, of course. And talking about the second topic that we have mentioned is journeying through the golden age of the Islam and the Arabic Islamic Science Museum at Abdullah Salam Culture Center, where we have learned more and dedicated the audience to go to the museum and learn more about history.
Yes,
Yeah.
please go there. There's a cool way
Yes.
to learn and to send them the more message about your kids, about the next generation. There's the hologram. There is even more ways that will actually enlighten them visually or by listening to it.
Yeah.
So for the third topic, where we're just talking about Abdulaziz Darwish enlightening Asma bint Abi Bakr school at the hall and learning them about the traditional and the new media, because it's got to be amazing
Yeah.
to send the message, and it is really remarkable to have this episode. And before we finish, I'm just really honored to being presenting back with you, Sarah,
It's my honor as well.
to be your co-host.
Yes, of course. With that, dear viewers, we have reached to an end. Thank you for joining us at our show around Kuwait. We hope you have had a fascinating and amazing experience throughout our show. See you on another new episodes. Goodbye.
And goodbye for now.